Alright guys, so let's get that edit page set up. So what we need to do is modify API. We need to get a single post from the server. So we're going to name this function getSinglePost. And we're going to be requesting by ID. We're going to pass in a token and a success method. And then we're going to axios.get host, and I forgot we need to add /API posts, and then we're going to add in the API, or rather the ID of the post right here. And then we're going to append our access token and set it to token. And then we're going to take the response and we're going to call the success function with the res. Here we go. Let's save this. For admin reducer, we now need a new property, which is post, and it's going to be an object. And then when the case is got single post, we're going to return state, and post is going to be equal to action.payload. So let's save this. Now in admin actions, we're going to export const get single post by ID with the token, and we are going to return dispatch, and we're going to call api.getSinglePost by ID token. Then we're going to capture the response, and we are going to then dispatch type equal to got single post. The payload is going to be res.data. So let's save this. That's all we need to do from a Redux standpoint. In posts, or actually in table view, where is that? We need to import browser link and link. So import link as router link from React router DOM, and then we're going to import link from material-ui/core/link. And what we need to do is check if the column's name, so call.name, is ID. So call.name equals ID. If it does, we need to return link, else I'm just going to return row.callName. Let's close link here as well. And then actually also we're going to use row call name right there, so let's just put it in some curly braces. Now in the link component we're going to say to, and we're going to say /admin. Actually we need to open up quotes. /admin/posts/edit/ and then we're going to use backticks here instead of quotes, so that we can put in row.callName right here as a variable, And then the component, we're going to use router link. So now let's save this. And we should get links now in both users and posts. We can't get users. I forgot we need to come back to this and clear the base access control restrictions so that admins can see users. But in posts, we now have this link. And if you look at the bottom, I know it's a bit small, but you can see that down here when I hover over one, it shows admin/posts/edit/ and then the /, which is good. Because when the next component mounts, we will get this page, and now the view is edit and we have an ID. So in the add post page, when component did mount, props and state, if this dot, I don't know why that does that. Every time I hit this dot, it pre-fills that. This dot props dot admin dot, or rather no, match dot params dot view equals edit, and this dot props dot match dot params dot id, what we will do is call this dot, oh my god, okay, that's getting annoying. This dot props dot get single post, and we will pass in this dot, oh, it worked that time, that's weird. Okay, so we're going to pass in this dot props dot match dot params dot id, and we're going to send along this dot props dot auth dot token. We're going to save. Now we actually need to add that here. So get single post. We're actually building the this dot props dot get single post. So to give this function to this component, we need to do this. We're going to dispatch admin actions dot get single post ID and token. There we go. Save. Now I look under network. Page we're on. Okay. So this is the network request that got fired. I'm going to refresh. And when the component did mount, it gets this. It fires off this request to the server with the ID from the URL. Because we're explicitly in app.js, we have a route called admin/post/view and then ID. And to demonstrate this, I guess, let me go into React and select the add post component. And these are all the props. So the props that it gets from wrapping with the function with router, it gets history, so we can actually push to the history, as well as location and match. So we're looking in match.params.id, and we can see that it's getting set to that. Now, if I go way up to the top and look in admin, we should see single post, or rather post, is now set to this. And that's because it has fired off to the server and got it. So what I'm going to do is we are going to set default values now in Formic. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to get props. And now if props.admin.post.title else blank. So let's save this. And now we see we get that. So if I come back here and go to another one, see we get that, when we should have actually got this. So what we'll need to do is, so if post exists within the admin props, then we'll get that. Otherwise, blank. So props.admin.post.slug, or else that. We'll also get props.admin.post.createdAt. If that's not there, we'll get that. And we'll get props.admin.post.status, or else we will set it to false. And the same for content. So props.admin.post.content, or else just a blank string. Let's refresh. So now when I get this, it's still using the current one in the state. See? So what's happening, I think I visited this one last. So currently, that's what is in my app-wide state here. Grab this page. So admin post. So the title is, my first post is this. So when we jump in here, it's getting the existing state before the request gets returned from the server with the new stuff. So what we will have to do, we will have to wrap this actually. So rather than the top level component being the top level component, we're actually going to have to put our formic wrapped component into a separate one. Now, or we could go through and set the values manually. So in component did update, we can say if this dot props dot admin dot post dot id doesn't equal props dot admin dot post dot id, this will only fire off when Redux state changes post in admin reducer. So in this case, what we can do, since we have a relatively small form to work with, I guess we'll call it, is we're going to call this dot props dot set field value. I wonder if we can set the values in formic altogether. One sec. Formic set values. Yeah, let's try that. So formic set values, and we'll just pass in this dot props dot admin dot post. See if this works. And let's go to posts. Now we're going to visit, my first post is this, and it does. It sets all the relevant fields, including status. So if I come back and go into this one, it'll say published. Now this is what we're going to have to do. All right. If we hit save now on this, it will think we've added the post, and it will fire off the add post function. What we need to do is call update post as well, or we need to create update post and pass in post and token. And for this, we're going to dispatch admin actions dot update post. We're going to pass in post and token. And what we will do is right here, we'll check if props.match.params.view equals edit, we will call props.updatePost with values and props.auth.token. Otherwise, if it's an add page, we will call props.addPost. It makes sense so far. We are getting errors because we actually haven't added the update post stuff in Redux. So let's go ahead and export const update post, and it's going to get the post property and a token. And we are going to return dispatch and API.updatePost. We're going to pass in the post and the token. We're going to get the res, and then we're going to dispatch. Type is going to be updated post, and payload is going to be res.data. Now here in the admin reducer, we are going to run case updated post. I don't need those curly braces. What am I thinking? All right. We're going to return state, and post is now going to be equal to action.payload. I know this is a little confusing because we've got posts plural and post singular, and on smaller screens I'm not sure if really that one character makes much of a difference. Honestly, I probably should have named them a bit differently, but yeah. All right. And now what we're going to do is, if the post updated, so first of all, post added, let's set post to action.payload as well, so that when it refreshes, it has the actual post that it added. And then in updated post, we also want the posts list that it shows in the table to have updated. So if I updated the title, then that post should also reflect that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set posts equal to state.posts.map, and here I'm going to capture that in p, in the p variable, and I'm going to say if p.id equals action.payload.id, this is the existing post in Redux that has been updated and currently in action.payload. And then what we'll do is we'll return ... the existing post as well as ... action.payload. And this will update any properties that have changed. Now, if it's not the, so while we're mapping, it's going to look through each post and it's going to say, is this the one that we've just saved? You know, it's going to match it by ID. So if it's not, then we still want to return the post itself in its original form. So here we can just modify the posts based on that. And now one last thing we need to do is in our API, we need to create a function called update post, and it's going to get a post, token, and success. And what we can do is we can say axios.patch. We're going to open up backticks, put in our host property, /API, /posts, /, and then we're going to open up a new property. We're going to get post.id. The object we're going to patch it with is going to be the post itself. And then we're going to get the result from that API call, and we're going to call the success function callback with the result. That was a lot. Let's save this, and I'll show you exactly what all of this does if there's any part that you're not entirely sure of. So let's go to posts. Now we have this post called my post. So when I click on it, the title gets set to my post. What I want to do is I want to, oh, what's this now? It's changing from a controlled to uncontrolled. Okay, let me come back here. Oh, right, because it doesn't have, okay. This was a post that I created on the server. It doesn't have those properties. So if I come into here, into this page, and I look at the React page, I want to make sure that we're getting the ID from that. So with styles, add post, there we go. We should have actually set values.id as well, but we didn't because we didn't specify that. So let's go ahead, and we can handle this in two ways. We can send along the post ID in the save function. So what we'll do is actually we'll create a const post, which is going to be ... values, and then also ID is going to be equal to props.match.params.id. And then instead of sending values to update post, we're going to send the post constant that we just created. So I'm going to save this. Then we're going to look at how this works here. So let's edit my post. I'm going to change the title, give it some content, switch the status around. So my post is cool. And then the content is going to be, my content area is even cooler. Status is going to be published, and I'm going to hit save. Now we should probably, oh, we forgot the access token in the API. Yeah. Access_token is token, and we should probably show a notification. So we'll get to that later. For right now, let's just go and type in my post is cool. My content area is even cooler. The status is going to be published, and then let's hit save. And we can see that the request fired off. Did it fire off twice, or oh, sometimes it gets the, yeah, okay. So if you ever see two requests here, that should only be one. Axios, sometimes it will be logged here, sometimes it won't. It first sends an options request to the server to see what it can do, like, you know, cores and, you know, all this data, and then it will actually send the post. So we've patched this. Now if I go back to posts, we can see that it has been updated there. And what basically happened, I just realized that this is way zoomed out. What happened is when I accessed it through the edit page and I changed it, and then I hit save, it looked at view. So is the view edit or add? So if it's edit, we'll create a new post object with all of the values of the current state of the add post function. We'll also set the ID equal to the ID in the URL, and then we'll call props.updatePost with the post and our token, which sends it to map dispatch to props update post right here. We're sending post over to admin actions.update post. So if I go into admin actions, we're calling this function, which then calls API.update post. Now here's where, well, this part and the API is where some of the cool stuff happens. So in the update post, we're going to get the ID of the post as a property to put inside the URL. Now the structure of this URL has to be correct. So if you're wondering about the structure of the URL, you can always visit your Explorer page at localhost at port 8080/Explorer, and you can get a list of all these URLs. Now this is a little confusing because we're posting to the post route, but bear with me here. This is the name of our collection. So this could easily as well have been page or category, as it is up here. So where it's post, then all URLs are going to be /post. Now we can patch posts / and then the idea of the post that we want to patch. And then we pass as a data object the actual object or JSON data that we want to patch that existing post with. So this post property right here is equal to a JSON object that has title, content, etc. Then we return back to admin actions, which then dispatches updated post, which both updates post and the post's array with the new values. And that's why when we go back to posts, our table reflects the change. So I guess in the next video we will probably get to Quill, the text editor.